I'm just leaving. I'll be home in about 2 hours.
Vauxhall presents the all-new Carlton with advanced chassis technology to help cope with those little problems we all encounter from time to time. Advanced chassis technology means that if one side of the road has become a trifle slippery, the new Carlton will still stop in a straight line. And as for those annoying little emergency lane changes, well, the new Carlton can steer safely through them. The all-new Vauxhall Carlton.
Oh, hello. How was the journey?
Fine.
You could say it's put the skids under its rivals.
Okay, so we're in the Carlton. We need to, basically, I'd love to be able to show you, but there's a bulb, one of the bulbs, oh, my hand looks funny there, sorry. One of the bulbs underneath the instrument cluster is gone, as well as the Speedo and the odometer no longer work. So the aim is to take this out. We at least need to replace the bulbs. We've got a spare Speedo cable, and if that doesn't work, we need to change the Speedo drive, which I think is in the gearbox, although I'll have to wait out and see. Now, the manual, excuse the random collection of shite, the manual says that that in order to start, you basically need to take off this, which it looks pretty loose. I don't want to snap it, but hang on, let me switch the angle. Now, right. So taking that, I'm just going to stick that in there. Now what we need to do is we need to take out these two screws, remove the heater control panel, so that then we can remove this lovely piece of trim around here. That gets this, then I can remove the instrument cluster. Let's go. Okay, so we've taken this one off. I've put them for future reference, I've put them here. Taken one off, but it's been a bastard to fucking, oh fuck's sake. So let's take that out. Okay, we've taken that out. Okay, so I'll admit I forgot to update the video. So but basically what I did after that is I managed to get the instrument cluster out, but it was a bit of a bastard to do because basically in the manual, the you could take the cluster out and there'd be about a foot or so of room, you know. But for whatever reason, the Speedo cable that was in the back of the instrument cluster was either routed badly or replaced with a shorter one, or I'm not quite sure. So it basically meant that we couldn't get it out the way that we needed to. So I had to go to unscrew the Speedo cable first. Anyway, so then we got the instrument cluster out, but then we had another issue, which was that when there's a little like grommet type thing, I'm not sure if that's the right word, but there's a little okay, this is what goes into a little hole and it stops the engine noise coming from the engine bay into the cabin. Now I don't know if you can see it there, but it's fucked. So, but then the issue, oh, hang on, let me go outside and I'll explain it to you. Okay, so, oh shit. So here's an update from the inside. Here's our Speedo cable. Instrument clusters inside. But now if I just, hang on, if I just pop the release. Hang on, bear with. Okay, so where we left it was, hang on, where is it? Right, I don't know if you can see. So there, just there, should be where it should be that little hole that's just there. Just that thing there, that is filled. That should be filled by this. But hang on, where's the other? So I managed to get it into the engine bay. Here's. Oh, shit. So this is the end that goes into the transmission gearbox. But you can see that not a way in hell is that going to happen. So what the current thinking is to, oh shit, the current thinking is to split this, because it's already beyond, so split it and then put it round the cable so it's in it, and then put it back into down there, and then seal it up with some mastic or something, because if we didn't have it there, then it would be horrible. But even if we have something there, it's better than having nothing there. So what I need to do is to feed that into the gearbox. And then you can see that white little thing down there, that is the other end. That's just a drive, not the casing as well, because it came loose. So I need to do that, and I will get back to you. Okay, so there's a Speedo cable just there, and it comes out of that hole just there. It goes through there. Other snazzy shorts, and then down here. Now the one with the, if you remember from earlier, the one with the electrical tape end is the one that we need to plug in. Now she to do all the clips, so hang on, we'll just get under it now. Continue. Okay, so that up there is the Speedo cable drive thing, and here's where we need to do it, but it's currently not liking me a lot. I'm trying to get it so I can put it in the right place when needs be, so I need to chop the end of the tape off, and then put all the little clips back where they should be. Okay, so that is the Speedo cable installed. Doesn't appear to be going anywhere. I don't know what that is, but I'm assuming they should line up, so I might put that back into position. There's the cable. Here's the old cable. Yeah, I'll have a look from the top. Okay, so I was looking for what the issue was. How was it focusing? And this appeared, then this came out the end, obviously. This is the other end that goes in here. Obviously it should be one complete. As you can see at the end there, it's ripped off. Obviously this should be one complete cable. But I don't think something tells me this isn't as long as it should be. Obviously it stops there, but that's just where the things come out. I don't think that's nearly as long as it should have been. It all looks okay. All looks fine in here. you can see very well. And the cable here is doing just fine. So I think we're doing a good job, I think. Right, so now we've done the Speedo cable. Now, so I was thinking, you know, whilst the instrument cluster's out and whatnot, I might as well refurbish the interior somewhat. So now I've gone and purchased this. This came stock on the Diplomat, the GSI, the Diamond, and of course the Lotus Carlton. Now, it's an improvement over my one as it's leather, and obviously things that are made out of leather are marginally better than things that aren't. Now I've got this cap to go over it, but currently that doesn't have a badge. I'm not sure if that's focused. Currently it doesn't have a badge on it. Now the badge is available with obviously the Lotus, the Diplomat, the GSI and the Diamond. Now my Carlton is none of those, it's the L. And as we've established, the L didn't come with that, with this steering wheel. So I need to pick which badges are both available and don't make it feel like I'm up badging it too much. Now I've seen circulating on the internet, there are ones that are similar to this, but it's got a little Vauxhall logo, which I'm thinking that might be the best option, as therefore I'm not pretending it's something it isn't. I'm not saying it's a Diamond when it's obviously not, or a Diplomat when it's obviously not. So that's the plan. Now the quality of this is obviously I'll put some footage over the top of this now, but it's quite cracked and the stitches are coming out in a few places. So at some point I will need to get that refurbished. But as this is first of all, it is a project car. It's also my daily driver. So that, in my mind, is lower down the list of priorities. Yeah, now before I forget, I will add that this one that we've got off eBay for about 30, 40 quid, doesn't have a horn mount, which something tells me that might be a bit of an issue. But we'll very much cross that bridge when we get to it, but I can't imagine it'd be too hard to find one. Okay, so I'm trying to deal with the lack of horn contact. So what I did was I joined the Lotus Carlton Facebook group and asked a question about what it looks like, because I have no idea what the piece that I'm looking for is supposed to look like. So I did that, and a lovely gentleman called Sven got back to me, and he sent me a picture of the part that I needed, and it looks something like this. So once I did that, I went on to the online parts catalogue website thing with all diagrams. So now I knew what I was specifically looking for. I could look at the diagram and go, okay, that's that bit. Now I need to find the part number. So I found the part number. I searched for the GM part number almost everywhere, but the pictures, sorry about that. So I searched for the GM part number everywhere. Couldn't really find anything that was useful. But then, so I typed it on eBay on my laptop. Nothing came up. But then I typed the sort of internal Opel number into the eBay on my phone, and it came up. Anyway, so there wasn't a picture of it, but it said it had both the numbers it should do. So I've ordered that, and I'm now hoping and praying that I haven't been scammed. But it's on eBay, so if I have been, I'm protected. So that should be coming next week. I've also found one of those Vauxhall Centre steering wheel covers. I think it's off the CD, but I'll put a picture here. That's from Derek at GM6 Spares. So yeah, so we've got the horn contact coming. I've got some bulbs coming because they need replacing, as I said in the original clip. and we need, also I've ordered a shift boot because mine had like holes in it and it really made it look a bit shit. So I'll update you when that's all come through. Okay, so here is the instrument cluster, obviously. Second it starts to focus. Here are our little bulbs, so we're just going to do a simple, these are little T5 twists that go inside most GM cars, I think of the era and maybe even currently. So we're just going to flip it over like very carefully, like so. And these holes 1, 2, 3 and 4 are where these little caps go. Here's one I did before I started filming, and obviously it goes in and they just twist in. Okay, hang on, it's showing me up now. So the reason they call them T5 twists is because they twist in. This one isn't behaving, I'll admit. There we go, goes in there, just like so. So I'll do the rest of them and I'll get back to you. Okay, so here we are with all of the twists installed. So now I'm going to do a few other bits, but now we're going to plug it in and see where we are. And hopefully it should still work, but if it doesn't, I'm probably going to bang my head against the wall. Right, so this has arrived. It's the horn contact plate, and I've just put it in the car. I just obviously test that it works. Not that I imagine there'd be much to go wrong with it, but it does. So now we have all the bits we need to put the new steering wheel on, which is something that'll be exciting. So we can put that together today. So we need to, and you can see just there, we also need to fix this little bit of cable. I'm not sure if the focus will be shallow enough. But it's a little bit of cable that's come off, which goes into one of the pins. I'm not sure what it does. I can have a look on the book, but I think it would be best to put it back together, else it'll just be no end of issues later. So we'll do that, and then we'll update the video. Very exciting. So as we can see, that right there is our Speedo, and I need to just connect the leads so we can do an electrical test. Okay, so I have just charged the battery. So well, the battery is currently plugged in, which is what that is up there. I've put the instrument cluster in somewhat, and I've plugged all the cables in the back. So I'm just currently, so I've plugged to plug these in for the alarm keeps going off, but yes, that's off. That's on. Brilliant. Now he's gonna. Okay, the relay for the horn's going off. I'll connect these two. Hang on a minute, if I just connect them, give me 2 seconds. Oh, that is interesting. Right, so the relay is going off, but it's not. Good news is we've got light. Bad news is horn relays going off, but it's not horning. So I'm just going to turn on and check all the... That's working. I'm going to stick my... Now, if I stick my key in the ignition... So now I've established that these work correctly. Let's just turn the dial down there. So now I'm just going to turn on the ignition. Just going to see if they're both the stereo and the... Right. That works as I think it should do. Okay, so just to prove my little theory, I think the battery's the issue here because I've just turned everything on apart from this and therefore, and it's now rocketed almost, I say rocketed at a very slow pace up to, now you remember before it was just at the 35, now it's just in between the 2 points, just shy of that middle thing there. So I think, hang on, I think if I turn that on, and I turn my lights on, yeah, look at that. If I turn my stead unit on. Good, well I say good. What? That isn't necessarily good. Look, if I turn that on, which should be fog lamps, it turns my left indicator on. Hang on, let me just go check the 2.6 to make sure when I put those in the right way. Right, so I think I'm going to call it there for this segment, as we're waiting for a few bits, and I was thinking of cleaning it, but I've sort of done this in a really weird order where I've done the interior first, and that's because I need to get on the road quickly and we couldn't do anything else whilst the weather was so crap. So I've done that first, so I think there's not much point, polishing it up, making it look nice. As long as we've proved that everything works, that's fine in my books. So yes, so I'll finish that off here. Here are some clips of over the top whilst I walk through what we've done. So first of all, we've fitted the Speedo cable. We've then fitted some bulbs, and I've bought a new gaiter. So that looks considerably nice, and also the material's like proper leather rather than like fake leather, which is a lot nicer in my opinion. And then we've fitted the new steering wheel, which I didn't get much footage of, but here is the new one. It does need retrimming, but that is that's a future task. Right, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.